Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to this week's
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to this week's
Hey, welcome, everybody.
Welcome to this week's SNL.
Hello, and how is...
All right.
Can it be seen? Yeah.
Come on! All right, so
Derek
what can that be?
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, hey, hey. Come on. How is everybody?
Hello, hello.
Come on, people. Yes, we are live.
Hey.
Do it live.
My mic's broken.
Do it live. Your mic's broken?
It's. It just won't stay up.
Oh.
So it's gonna sound every time I talk. It's gonna sound like I'm like getting far away.
Modern tech. That's not even technology, I don't think.
No, this is
Like mechanics, maybe? I don't know.
Let's say there's a guy who works here named Fanley, and he improperly set up this studio.
Family.
Yeah, Fanley. He's always messing things up.
Family. Hey,
like-
guys, it is so good to see you. Welcome to our live stream. And we kicked off. Hey, last weekend was a big weekend.
It was huge live show.
On. You know, I meant to get a clip of the very end of the show.
Oh, it was all over
sure we
social
could have
media.
it on-
Did you not
we
see
could-
it?
I try not to. I try not to see my failures.
Yes, it was all over social media.
Yes. You know, at the end of the show, I got to explain myself. The
Please.
thought of that cake falling never entered my mind. Because I had the trophy. For those of you who don't know, if you weren't here last weekend, shame on you. But we were celebrating how many episodes of our podcast?
100.
That is 100. We started actually season 2, I think this week or next week. Anyways, it's 100. And I had the little trophy that said 100, celebrating 100. And I had a special cake that said 100.
Yep.
And I thought, you know what would be a great thumbnail is to pick both of these up and hold them like this. And I never.
it was.
Why
That
would
was
I?
great.
But why would I think that the cake
I don't
Stay
know.
on.
stick to a cake
I mean,
holder held sideways?
It had been a long weekend. It had been a long
And I
weekend.
picked it up, and then it just fell over.
I
It's
know.
like in slow motion.
It was great.
It was amazing.
I looked down, and it just went splat.
Yep.
Exactly. And
Yeah, we had no cake.
Iris, was involved in the decorating of the cake.
Yeah.
I felt like a loser.
You could blame it on her.
Yeah.
Had she have put together a stronger, more sturdy cake,
Like a cardboard cake.
exactly, it wouldn't have slid
But
off.
hey, I got a little energy here.
Ooh, non-denominational. We're not, or
That's
not.
right.
That's not the right term. Whatever it is.
We're not sponsored.
We're not. Yeah, we're not pushing it.
We're not sponsored, but we would love to be sponsored. We're
Yep.
not beyond being sponsored.
No, we are not.
We want to welcome. Hey, let me ask this question in the chat. What is your? Well, let me ask you this. First thing is, do you partake of energy drinks?
I do.
All right.
My wife's mother is not a fan.
You know what? RFK, is that his name?
Yeah.
He might outlaw him. I can
Could
start.
happen.
Let's start that rumor.
Tweet it.
Yes, that's it. I have no idea if he likes energy drinks. But if you drink an energy drink, if you like energy drinks, you partake of energy drinks, put a 1 in the chat. Then, what is your favorite energy drink? What's your favorite energy drink?
I've had so many. I think for a little bit it was Bang,
All right.
and then maybe I could say Alani.
What?
Alani right now.
Alani?
Yeah,
Who's that?
Alani.
Is that a?
There's like a wave now of like low calorie energy drinks. Yeah.
Well, that's
That's
what
one
Bang,
of those.
Really? Yeah,
Bang
Bang.
actually started
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
correct.
You know, because before Bang, I saw somebody put Red Bull and Monster, and those had a lot of sugar at one time in them. I don't know if they still do.
They have the sugar-free options now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
But then Bang came out with non-sugar
I do like Monster. Monster's
and
good.
and enhanced creatine, and these have this is what
Prime.
I can't say unless
Oh,
they're
never
willing to
mind.
sponsor us.
I think it's got
I didn't
fentanyl in
see
it.
I can be.
We'll start that rumor.
There we go. Tweet it.
Prime's got fentanyl.
This is called Orange Mango.
That one's actually pretty solid.
It is pretty good. Let's see, apricot strawberry sugar-free Red Bull. That's Dallas. That's pretty specific. Dana Duncan. What do you drink? Because she works very early in the morning.
Yes.
She's like that. You guys are not old enough. There used to be a commercial of the Dunkin' Donut man getting up, early to go make the fresh, or was it the Krispy Kreme donut man? Some donut
idea.
man to get up and
She
go.
says she drinks winter Red Bull.
Winter Red Bull.
Winter Red Bull. You know what? Most people I didn't know Red Bull was still a thing. You know, the great thing about Red Bull is they sponsor all the cool things.
Yeah.
Did you see the video where the guy
do.
jumped from space?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They also have the
Pretty epic.
event every year, which is like my favorite event in the world, where people build their own planes
Yeah.
and they launch them off that thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have seen that.
It's amazing.
They don't fly very far.
No.
Some of them get a
Yeah.
little ways though, like the record-breaking ones.
I watched another video. We should be more prepared and have these videos.
Well, I mean, who knew we were going this direction?
Yeah.
Well, if we had maybe Will, you can look up stuff. You can be like, what's that? The guy in Joe Rogan's show that just
Jamie?
They talk about something and there it is. You know what I'm saying? But I watched another video where on 4th of July they have all these cars and they drive or they put them in gear and push them off the mountain. Have you seen that? And see how far they go?
How far they go?
Yeah, they put the car in gear. People bring their cars. People sit at the bottom of the mountain.
Oh, I saw that recently. They like send them off a cliff.
Yeah, yeah.
Into like a river.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And the
seen that.
people are pretty close.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that sounds like something we do in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. How did we get up? Oh, energy drinks.
Yeah, it all started there.
Is this what you're talking about? Is this it right here?
Yeah. Let's.
They just
Yeah,
send
look at
that
that.
thing off.
Send-
See all those people?
Oh my
No, it's
Lord.
crazy.
Wow, look, and I mean, there's nobody in it.
Oh, they don't send it with people.
No. I mean, they'd be dead.
All right, well.
What? No, keep it going. Oh, yeah, the Glacier View 4th of July car launch. You know what? We could do a live show from there.
Oh,
I like that.
That's it. If you guys will send in your checks and money orders. Checks. That tells you
Yes.
how old I am. Nobody uses checks anymore.
nope.
No.
Cash out.
I'm trying to think. I've maybe written 1 or 2 checks in my life, and I'm almost 30.
Wow. You know what? Let me tell you what people used to do. I'm sure Brad never did this, Pastor Brad. But checks, you used to be able to write a check, and it would take them like a week to get to the bank. Yeah. So they call it floating a check. Yeah. So you could go to Walmart, and you could buy your stuff on Monday, and if you were going to get paid on Wednesday, you could be pretty confident that it wouldn't get to the bank until after Wednesday.
Wow.
What happened if it got there quick? Like some dude was just,
You're negative in your account now.
Stamped insufficient funds.
but you already got it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they don't have the money. So here's what would happen, okay, is they would charge you $25. So you already don't have any money. Then Walmart would charge you like $25, $30. Then the bank would charge you another $35, $50. So now you're $80 in the hole plus what you wrote the check for.
That's great.
And it can become a very vicious. Well, it's kind of like a credit card if you don't pay your credit card. Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got this interest and you got a penalty and you got all this stuff. It's like once they get you down, they just grab you by the neck
and make it worse. Yeah.
just rub you into the ground.
I'm sure Dave Ramsey has one of his videos. Floating checks.
Yes. Well, you can't do that anymore. It's probably illegal. I never did it, but I know people.
But they used to read the check. Like when that became a very bad thing, they used to scan the check at the location and see if they have
Technology has ruined all the good things we used to have.
Yep.
Yeah. And and nowadays your card either says your debit card, you got it, or you don't have it.
Yeah.
And
Right in that moment.
it's always so funny too, because does anybody say, I don't have the money? Most people
I'm
say,
broke.
most people are like, what?
There's no way.
Yeah. I just checked the account. There was money there.
And sadly, most of the time that's true, right? Because, well, I don't have any idea if it's most time it's true, but I do know you can have the money. And
the
nothing's
card not go through, yeah.
It's one thing if the little screen says,
PIN error.
insufficient or whatever it says. It's another thing when they hand the card back to you and they say, well, it told me it was insufficient.
Yeah.
You're like,
You're at a restaurant.
I've never had it happen, but I've seen it in movies where they cut the card up, like if it's a credit card. And I guess if it's like way over.
I think probably if it comes back stolen.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you take my credit card and try to use it and I report it as stolen.
They'll cut that thing.
And maybe they I don't know, you can go to jail for floating checks. Some people do. It's called, I think it's fraud, right? I don't know. How did we get on that?
Gotta be fraud.
It's a different world today. You don't have
Energy drinks to Red Bull to
Floating checks.
floating checks.
floating. I'm just trying to
You
give
just never
people,
know.
I'm trying to give people a little bit of what life used to be and how much better it is today. Because today you're not even tempted. I mean, right? You're not even tempted. You either got the money or you don't. You either got
And then
the
you
credit.
swipe that credit.
Right. But eventually that's going to,
Catch up.
That's right. Eventually. There's only so much credit in this world.
There's a Bible verse about that. Let tomorrow worry about itself. Today has enough trouble of its own. I think he's talking about credit when
Is he talking about credit cards? I'm not
credit.
sure that's true. Because, American Express, it's everywhere you want to go. No. Is that American Express or is that Visa?
Visa.
What's American Express? Don't leave home without it.
Sure.
I think so. Anyways, it is time to see what's happening in this world. What stories do you have for us on this live stream?
Yes. Okay. So we are going to X videos today because they're not all working properly.
Sounds good.
Family was in here just
Just
messing
destroying stuff.
everything up. All right. So we're going to jump to this first
Family?
story. Family.
Family.
Family. That staff member.
Oh,
who
family.
We don't talk about.
All right.
First story. Luka and Anthony Davis traded.
The
Big trade.
For you
Big
non-basketball people, you have a Maverick from Dallas named Luka who has been traded.
How do you pronounce his last name? Can you throw that at us real quick?
You pronounce it.
I can't. Doncic.
Don kick.
Yes. Where's Luka from? Where?
Slovenia.
Same place as homeboy, Joker. Right?
What?
No? I thought they were the same place.
Anyways, he got traded to the Lakers. They are saying, listen, it's so good if you're watching today that you're alive because they're saying this is the biggest trade in the history of the NBA.
Wow.
That's interesting.
I don't think so. Right? I mean, how can it be? I mean, Shaq was a much better player than either one of them.
You think?
Yeah, I know. I don't think. I know.
Have you ever watched Luka play basketball?
I have watched Luka play basketball. Why do you think they traded him?
He's out of shape. That's
Out
what
of
they
shape.
said.
Well, he hasn't played since Christmas.
Same reason the Lakers traded Shaq in his prime.
Yeah, but the Lakers didn't trade Shaq.
Shaq traded Shaq.
Colby traded Shaq.
Colby.
He said, if he's not going to get in shape, send him out of here.
Yeah.
and he came down to play for Miami and led us to a championship.
That he did.
So pretty cool deal. Anyways, it's going to be interesting for those of you. I'm excited to see. I wish we would have got Luka.
Yeah.
You know,
As we get rid of Jimmy.
the big drama, of course, is where's Jimmy Butler going to go, and is he going to go, and is he going to play anymore? And here, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you keep him if next year you're going to have to sign him for $55 million as a 35-year-old or 36? Huh?
No.
I would send him home for the rest of the season.
Oh, you send him home.
There's no point. In
Right.
having him there.
But would you sign him to the max
Absolutely
contract?
not. And the truth being, like, he's not going to get that anywhere. No one's going to give him that.
Right.
Like, it's. I don't want to say sad because he did it to himself. There is a part that's sad of, like, just very unself-aware of where he's at in his life and everything to, like, start saying all this. I mean, I think there's a decent chance he doesn't play again.
Yeah.
Your beloved has an opinion about Luka. I'm impressed with her her basketball.
Jess
It's
is
like-
a sports person. Like,
Is she?
not like, oh, like, she, like, occasionally, she watches sports, like, full on.
Wow. So she might know something. She thinks
Maybe.
there's something personal going on.
Maybe. They did say, which, read between the lines, the Mavs, like, GM said that this was a trade for something and culture. And anytime they say that, I'm like, so Luka was not good for the culture of the team.
You saw where the CEO for LHMVP, LMV, what is that? LV, what is it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
LVMH. I think we talked about this last time on the live stream, where now they call it outward promotion or promoting outward, which means you just basically got fired. We're going to promote you outward.
We're going to promote you out.
Yeah, I saw an article, and it said that he got that from the Instagram guy. What's his name? The CEO for Instagram and Facebook?
Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberg. Him and Zuckerberg at the inauguration were sitting together, and Zuckerberg said, because I guess they just released a bunch of people, and he said that's what we call it. We call it outward promotion. We're promoting you outward. We're setting you free.
There you go.
Get out of here.
You should be thrilled.
Your keys don't work anymore.
What if they did that? What if they did that where you guys work? If you work in ministry or you work at your, work wherever you work, and they said, okay, I'm getting ready to sign a max contract. And they're like, is Nick worth a max contract?
And then all of a sudden, my fob doesn't work.
That's it. We're going to
Anymore.
trade. We're going to trade. We're going to trade you to the church down the road.
There you go.
See, that's kind of what they do in the Methodist Church and in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, because it's all under one house.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't think that. Let's trade that.
Susan wants to talk. Let's send her to Idaho.
Or Alaska.
Yeah, exactly.
She's going to go freeze for a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I tell you I will say this how our culture has changed. Used to be that most of the players that were good stayed on the same team their whole career.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Magic
in
Johnson
today.
was a Laker his whole career.
Yeah.
Even Michael Jordan, until he came back, was a Bull.
Well, it's going to be interesting with NBA in particular because it's struggled as of late with ratings, and there's a lot of reasons that people are saying for that. Political, all the politics that every sport got into it, but NBA doubled down, if you will, on their politics. But I think also it's very different watching basketball today than before, and I'm not talking about better or worse. Depends on the person, but I think that. There's like when you watch a game, a lot of times when I turn on an NBA game, one team is at like 130 and another team's at 90. Yeah.
It's all about
It's just like, what?
all about the 3-pointer. Oh, Dallas sounds like she's from Arkansas. She goes, the WWE is totally about. She's talking about wrestling.
Soap opera.
Wrestling. That is.
They just had the Royal Rumble.
Arkansas is big into wrestling.
Yeah.
We don't call it wrestling.
Wrestling.
Wrestling. What? Yeah, wrestling.
WWE.
You think you could
Monday Night
throw
Raw.
down in the ring?
Huh?
You think you could throw? Ooh, that'd be a sick teaching
Pastors in the
series
ring?
illustration.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Who do you want me to throw down on?
Pastor Matt. I would love to see one of y'all pile drive the other one.
A spear.
Well, I would hope you cheer for your father.
100%.
Okay.
But he's a big old boy.
He is.
Yep. He's a big, strong country boy.
That he is.
Worked on the farm.
Royal Rumble. Yeah, my son, no doubt, says it. Any other wrestling fans out there?
Wrestling.
Rowdy Piper, Suzanne. See, I don't even know who the new people are.
I'm not as up to date with the newer people as well. You know what's funny? Everyone like I've talked to, it's like, oh, I used to love wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm not saying wrestling's changed, but
Well,
It's gotten some hype recently. It's like streamers have been a part. Pat McAfee has done been an announcer a couple times already.
didn't Donald Trump do?
I think he was. He was at.
In their Hall of Fame.
Donald Trump is.
Is he? That's hilarious.
He's in their Hall of Fame.
That is hilarious.
So we have a former or a present-day president of the United States in the Hall of Fame of the WWE.
and had a reality
Hey,
TV show.
What a great country we have.
Man, that's the American
Giselle said it
dream.
earlier.
Hey,
God bless America.
Russia has Putin taking off his shirt, but we have a
WWE.
wrestling WWE Hall of Fame president.
What if that's like who you had to vote for? Like
No.
they just bring up old wrestlers.
I think instead of going to
Hulk Hogan.
war, all the presidents just ought to have a rumble. And whatever president wins the war.
I agree.
Well, we might elect
We may lose.
We might elect. We would no
Last-
longer elect 70-something-year-old presidents.
Last
No.
term, we would
No,
have.
we
gotten
wouldn't.
Decimated.
J.D. Vance, he looks like he's a big guy. I don't know if he
Yeah.
is, but he looks like he might
looks
be
tall, yeah.
a big guy.
He'd take on some.
I'm not sure Biden or Kamala would have come out very good.
No, I don't think so.
But who'd we have before that? Obama?
Obama?
He's
Yeah.
wiry.
He probably would have been all right.
He's wiry.
Wiry.
Clinton, he was a big boy. He's a big Arkansas country boy.
There we go.
Him and Al Gore, both big country boys. So
Yep.
we might have been on top there for a while. Anyways, that doesn't make any sense. Let's see what we have
That's
next.
another story here. FDA cracking down on Walmart broccoli recall. So I don't know if the people have heard this. This is your public health warning.
Highest threat level ever.
Highest threat level.
Risk of
of death.
Oh my gosh.
I always knew broccoli would kill people.
Hold on, go back up. It says consumers are urged to remove the recalled broccoli from their freezers.
Take it out.
Wow.
Wow. Death.
Hallelujah.
What is it? What is it? It's a recall over Walmart sold broccoli. What is that? Florets
Yeah, that's what you call like broccoli. Broccoli florets.
has been escalated to class 1, the highest threat level, as consumers are warned to discard food products over potential contamination. Has been recalling some packages of its ready-to-eat 12-ounce market-side broccoli florets. I've never heard that word before. Announced a recall. What does it say what it has? Serious category. Refer to the situation in which there is a reasonable probability that the use of or even exposure to of the product will cause serious adverse health consequences or death.
Wow.
Thank you, Carson.
Very welcome.
We may have just saved lives.
May have.
Wow.
May have.
How
Broccoli
many-
is basically terrorism.
How many of you?
Is what I read from that story.
How many of you knew that
I didn't.
in the chat
until-
or here? Anybody here know? Did you know?
I always knew.
You always knew. What do you mean you always knew?
She can see the future.
Broccoli would
Giselle always knew broccoli was an issue. You and Carson and somebody else said that as well.
Thank you, Varson. Pastor Diddy.
It's the flour part.
Yeah.
It's not the stock.
the floor.
It's the
Florets.
The florets. Yeah.
No, you didn't know that.
I actually did know florets.
We read it.
I knew the florets.
You've heard that before. You knew that.
No, we read it right now.
Well, I know you read it right now, but did you know it's the end?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd assume.
florets.
Context
So
clues.
don't act like I've
We
done.
learned that.
You've never. Pastor Brad,
You
did
didn't
you know that?
Context clues.
You did not.
He's a farmer. He would know that. He's a farmer.
He's a fish farmer. He's not a farmer.
Are y'all good? Like,
There's some beef.
I guess did anybody else? Okay, Dallas says she did not know, and she knows wrestling.
wrestling.
Natalia says she did not know. Right? Chris says he missed the memo. So at least I feel better. Everybody here knew, but the folks in the chat did not know.
They're not as
florets.
smart as us.
I've never heard florets.
What do you?
Yep. Broccoli florets.
You've heard of florets? Why is she laughing at me?
She said, "Of course."
She's blown away.
Will, did you know?
With
Have
the
you heard
I
that
can't
word
believe
before?
that you didn't
No.
know.
Gabby, have you ever heard of florets?
I'm ashamed to say no.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm not alone. What's it? You got another story?
I do. This is one that comes straight from you.
Right?
All right.
I am very excited about this story because I got to tell you, we have got a podcast coming up with the gentleman. His name was Richard.
It looks like an amusement park.
Yeah, well, that sign is the sign of eternity.
Ah.
Okay, that's a symbol for eternity. The height of that is 50 meters.
Wow.
So
If we were to break
that's
that down into feet.
about 150 feet.
Oh, okay.
So that is.
I understand that.
This is super, super big. This gentleman. Have you ever heard of Arthur Blessed?
Nope.
No.
Arthur Blessed is a guy. There's videos you can go to YouTube. I think he passed away this year. He traveled the world carrying a cross.
Yes, he just passed away.
Yes, he did.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean if that's where you're going with it. I did just see the
just said
story
that.
that he passed
He just
away.
said
Yes, I just said that. But, appreciate you jumping in.
See, that's why I can't look things up and listen.
And talk at the same time.
That's why I said Will can be our. What was the gentleman's name for
Jamie.
Jamie?
Will
Yeah.
be our
Will can,
Jamie.
Will can be Jamie. But anyways, Arthur Blessed traveled the world carrying a cross. He went to Africa. He went to Asia. He went to the Arctic. He went all over America. I forget how many millions of miles he carried that cross.
38,000 miles,
All right, 38,000 miles. No, more than that.
which he continued until his passing. The pilgrimage covered more than 38,000 miles.
Oh, okay.
Took him through 324 countries.
All right. So that's a long way to carry a cross.
Absolutely.
But anyways, this gentleman, Richard, was one Easter, he was kind of doing that in his town. And as he was doing it, he said God kind of nudged his heart about building a national monument that would point people to Christ. And so he had no money, he had no property. I mean, can you imagine? England's an island. So, I mean, we think property's expensive here in South Florida. On his website, and he shares the story of how he got the land. And it's an incredibly encouraging story. But anyways, that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
He went before Parliament to share his vision, this national monument that points people to Christ. Every one of those bricks is an answered prayer. There's going to be a million
that's
of
awesome.
them. Going to be a million of them in there. So you can actually go to the website and put your answered prayer, and then it's going to have where you can put your phone, and it will go to your story. So as people go there, they'll be able to see a million
everyone's.
answered prayers.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
So the thing that really impressed me about his story is he got the vision 20 years ago. And then for the last 11 years, I think is what he said, he's been working on the vision. Like we got to have land and we got to have money and we got to have, right? And it just impressed me because it's so easy to get discouraged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if God gives us a vision, like we want to put up a cross, and we've been working on it a year. And it's just easy to get discouraged. So far we have got the land studies to be able to put, how deep we have to put the cross in the ground and all of that. But we haven't got all the, per se, Temple Centurion resources to be able to build it and stuff. But I just know I get discouraged. And I think this guy's been working on this for 11 years. And he said this year they're going to start construction.
Wow.
So and he said they have the money for the symbol. They don't have all the money for like the visitor center and all the things you want to have to help point people to Jesus. But I would love to be there for the grand opening. I was just impressed. He had a great spirit. And I just think it'd be so easy to get he's just a regular guy, just like anybody that's listening or watching today. And so anyways, he's on the podcast. Pastor Danny says it's going to be season 2, episode 2. I just encourage everybody, if you don't listen to any of the other podcasts, which I hope you do, but if you don't, listen to this one because we all get discouraged. And he talks a lot about the kind of leadership that it takes and how he continued to have faith and how he's grown in that journey. And you can see well, I'm looking at it. You're not. You're looking at me. But it's an amazing structure, and there's no doubt it's over the flyover pattern to one of the airports. So it's going to point people to Jesus. And then again, we say, well, what? It's 1 million answered prayers. How do you argue with that?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, those are stories. Those are real people who believe God has answered their prayers, and they're going to tell their stories. And if you'd like to tell yours, or if you'd like to donate to it, right? They're still raising resources for the visitor center and just this whole area in which people can go and visit. But that is a symbol of eternity. Make hope visible. What a great line. That's really what we all do as Christ followers. And I think, we talk a lot on this channel about reaching your potential. And really, to me, that's the reason to reach our potential. It's not for me. Like our mission at Potential Church, you guys know what it is?
Partnering with people
To reach their God potential.
to impact the world for good.
Yes, right. And when we started, we first think, okay, what's Potential Church? What's our mission going to be? And we started with partnering with people to reach their potential, right? Because that's what we do. But then it's like, why though? Is that enough? Is it enough just for me to reach my potential? Because then it's just about me. And so we added that last part in order to impact the world for good. In other words, what greater witness to the world than me to reach my potential, than you to reach your potential, than those who are watching and listening to reach your potential. So anyways, I know I'm preaching on this, but I was just so... Because I talk, you know what I mean? I'm sure you guys do. I talk to a lot of people who have a lot of visions.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm starting a company, and this is what we're going to do, and we're going to get that cross built, or we're going to get that campus start. One of the other things that I dream of doing is starting a campus in New York and in New Orleans, two unchurched areas. And I've had lots of people give me this is what we're going to do, and somewhere along the line, they get discouraged. They're not bad people. They just get discouraged.
Right.
And I'm sure some of you guys listening, we're going to start a business or start a ministry or whatever,
Yeah.
And then you get discouraged. He stayed at it, and he said,
Amen.
he's got the money for the symbol, and they're going to start this year.
Yeah.
So
The Pastor Danny said it's podcast season 2, episode 2, which drops on February 13th.
February the 13th.
So that is when the episode goes
the
live.
day before Volunteers Day. I mean, not
Volunteers Day. And the reason we said that is because we love our volunteers so much.
That's right.
Absolutely. We're changing the holiday.
Look at that tie-in.
That's awesome. So I do have speaking of that, Valentine's Day. Do you have your Valentine's gift yet?
So here's the thing. Okay. Jess's birthday is a week before Valentine's Day.
Right.
And with wisdom tells me that for Valentine's Day, don't go huge. Go on a date or whatever, some chocolate, maybe some flowers, but nothing huge. Because birthday, I'll get her like
big.
an actual gift.
See, Steph's birthday is a week after Valentine's Day.
So you do both?
Big on both.
I have.
Do neither.
I have done both. The older you get, the more I have discovered, the more difficult it is to
Get your significant
be
others.
romantic.
Interesting.
Because the temptation is to take that person for granted. And I've tried to tell Steph she doesn't need to take me for granted.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Something like this doesn't come along just every day.
So good. So good. Changing the subject a little bit, but this just kind of blew my mind. I'm reading about Arthur Blessed, and it said his journey was documented in a DVD. And I was thinking, man, it is crazy. We lead youth ministry, Pastor Nick and myself, and they don't know what a DVD is.
No.
Isn't that
Probably
interesting?
never seen one.
Do they know what a laser disc is?
No.
All they know is streaming.
I remember telling a story about a VHS, having to rewind a VHS, and they had no idea what I was talking about.
Wow. There still is one, what's the video store? Blockbuster. There is one Blockbuster still.
Interesting. Where?
I forget. But
look
you're
it up.
going to look it up. Where's
I am.
Mike? Or Dave? Or Jason? What's the guy's name for
Mike, Dave, and Jason.
on the podcast?
Joe Rogan's guy.
Oh, Jamie.
Jamie. Where's Jamie when we need him?
It's in Oregon.
Oregon. Wow, you would think Oregon would be more progressive than that. Aren't they a progressive state?
They are.
But it's kind of wilderness, though. So maybe the news hadn't got there yet.
It's hipsters out there.
Yeah, maybe they
I
don't
think
know that
that's
they're
why.
closed down yet.
It's all hipsters out there. They're still watching their VHS tapes.
They're like that. Have you guys in the chat? Have you guys heard about the Japanese gentleman that is like 30 years after the war? Before he was on an island and he still thought the war was going on.
He was like in a cave.
Well, he was on an island and the island had a cave.
Oh, okay. Because I did hear a story.
That's a weird interaction.
Well, because I did hear a story a while back of, I think it was a dude from Japan. He was hiding out in a cave during the war, and he thought the war was still going on because there was a flight path. The flight path went over the cave. And so he'd hear planes going over every single day. And so he thought the war was still going on.
Yeah.
Something like a certain amount of years later.
Wow. And I think if you were alone, could you be alone in a cave for 30 years and not go crazy?
Probably not. It was probably like a Castaway. He had like a little coconut or something. He put a face on and started talking to.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
Big weekend next weekend.
Come on.
That's right. It's Super Bowl.
Super Bowl weekend. And so, oh, no, I'm not supposed to show you this. What am I doing? We have a Super Bowl trivia.
Oh, Zach, can the chat help me?
Zach in the chat. He will help you. I'm going to throw some questions your way.
All right. I'm not a football guy. But
Interesting.
But I know a lot.
I was going to say, you claim to know
Very
a lot
wise.
about a lot.
Well, no, I said that was a bad thing on this weekend. I said, do you know those kind of people that because they're good at one thing, they think they know everything?
Yeah. I know one closely.
Jess, don't take that.
You know what? I know two closely. All right. So I'm going to start throwing some questions your way. All right.
Help me out, chat.
What team has played in 4 Super Bowls but never held a lead? They played in 4.
I know the Buffalo Bills went to several and didn't win. So I'd have to say the Buffalo Bills.
Is that your final?
Well, let me give
for the-
a little bit of delay in the chat here to see what.
Who's playing in the Super Bowl? That would be the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Come on.
Just like the
Chris.
IT guy to not know what's going on.
Oh, did Chris
Man,
say
he
he watched
had a-
wrestling? He knows wrestling. He doesn't know football. Amber says the Bills.
Pastor Amber says Bills.
Brad says Pastor
PB.
Brad says the Vikings. How confident are you about that?
He's a sports guy.
I know he is.
He also
very.
is within range to see the screen. I'm not saying he's cheating. I'm just saying he is within range.
He is a part of the live studio audience.
That he is.
You know,
Yeah.
we had some of those one-time wonders that came last week.
Wanders. They were just wandering.
I know they
Wanderer.
wandered in last week, but
Yeah.
they didn't wander back. And I think that says something about them, not us.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
All right, so we have the Vikings.
They said Kansas City, as if they didn't win the last 2 of them.
How could you never be ahead?
I have no idea. That's how crazy the refs are. Is that they've actually never been in the lead, and they won 2 of them. So what's your final answer?
Well, I mean, I know the Buffalo Bills made it
retracted
to
it.
several Super
Made fun
Bowls
of him so hard.
and never won, but I don't know about the Vikings. That'd be more
Unfortunately, we only take one.
recent.
Yeah.
That's a very political
Well,
answer.
I'll go with Brad.
Vikings.
Pastor
It
Brad.
is, in fact, the Minnesota Vikings.
Come on.
Minnesota Vikings. All right. Are you ready for question number 2?
I am ready.
What teams have won the most Super Bowls? There's 2 of them. 2 teams who have each won 6. Which 2 teams?
Let's see what the chat has to say.
Because you know,
Yeah,
but you want to
you're
give
just
them a
trying to give
chance.
them a-
Well, I want to see what Pastor Brad says. Before he answers, though, what would I guess? Well, I would have to guess 6.
Yeah.
6
So I would
wins.
have to guess
2 teams.
Maybe the Cowboys.
Okay.
Maybe Green Bay.
Okay.
Maybe the Patriots. That'd be more more modern day. Maybe the Steelers. Danny says the Cowboys, the Patriots. 6.
Pastor Danny also said Kansas City has never had the lead.
Derek says 6 each. What I don't know what that means. The Patriots and the Steelers. Oh, Joy. Hey, Joy. How are you? Well, she's up in northern Florida.
You woke up right there.
Yeah. Hey, you know what would really be good for the show?
Brownies?
Oh, come on. A cigar from Dwight and
Yes.
brownies from Joy.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
That was wild.
What did Chris say? The Dodgers. Carly had to tell him it was the wrong sport.
Oh, that's great. What are you going with?
Oh my goodness. Man, the Cowboys have won a lot early on. I got to say the Cowboys are one of them.
That is incorrect.
Pastor Brad, what'd you say?
Patriots and Steelers.
Oh,
That is correct.
I was going to guess the Cowboys and the Steelers. Because here's in my mind. In my mind is Tom Landry and Terry Bradshaw.
Wrong.
How many of the Cowboys won? Does
That's a
it
great
say?
question.
We got our very own Jamie looking it up.
Yes.
The Dallas Cowboys have won 5.
So I wasn't crazy.
No, you
So I
weren't
was going to say
far off.
Cowboys and Steelers. I would have got
Just
one
wrong. Not crazy. Just wrong.
of them. No, but I would have got one of them. Who did I say? I said the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Gosh. Let me take it.
Take a sip. Take a sip.
All right. I'm ready now.
All right. What teams haven't appeared in a single Super Bowl? We're going to dumb this down a little bit. I'm just asking for one of the possible 4. Never appeared in a single Super Bowl. One of them is very surprising.
Has the Chargers?
They're not listed here, so I'm going to say they have.
Let's see. The Chargers are not one.
Oh, man.
As if she's not looking at
I
it.
know she sits there so arrogantly. For those of you in the chat, Giselle's making me feel very ignorant.
One of these teams I would have never guessed have never been.
Baltimore,
That is incorrect.
the Browns.
The Browns are a team. That is correct.
Come on.
It was, in fact, the Browns, the Texans, the Jaguars, and this one surprised me, the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Why? They're always terrible.
But they've been great.
They've been
recently.
good
They're
lately.
they're
Yeah.
an old team.
Yeah.
So I figured, anytime
Right.
there's an old team, I figure at some
probably
point they were
been,
good.
Right, right.
But they haven't been.
You know who owns the Lions?
Who? Eminem?
No,
I know
but
he's a
close.
big fan.
Who would you think?
Detroit.
Rich person in Detroit, Michigan.
Ford?
Yes,
Ford? Yeah.
the Ford family.
Oh, wow.
They evidently don't take cars or football.
It was a rough one for them this year, but it should have been. This was their year to win. Okay, ready for the next
Did
one?
anybody in the chat get it? The Bills?
I don't really pay attention, to be
Jaguars.
honest.
The Lions?
Jaguars
Yeah.
have been terrible.
Wow, Amber got the Browns, the Jaguars. She said Jags twice for some reason,
Dr. Dave.
and Lions.
Dr. Dave owns the Jaguars.
Oh, who did he say? Oh, I'm sorry.
Dallas is-
I'm sorry, Dr. Dave. The Lions are great.
The Browns had that guy, the fridge. Okay, your next question.
All right.
Now
I'm
this
ready.
gets out of the realm of football, more to what people really care about:
the commercials.
the halftime show.
Oh, the halftime show.
Which Super Bowl halftime show preceded
Jackson.
a stadium blackout? It was in. Well,
What
let me
year?
not give you.
No, give me the year.
Okay, 2013.
2013.
My high school graduation year. Had I have graduated when I was supposed to graduate?
A blackout. Chris Brown, Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson.
Are you just giving names, or are
I'm
these
just
guesses?
I'm thinking out loud. You know what I mean? That they like, if you're going to be on TV, they want the audience to hear what you're thinking.
You're right.
So if I just sat here and go, That's not very entertaining.
Very true.
But when I say Michael Jackson, some people are like, yeah, and others are like, no.
Chris was also wrong about the fridge. Maria corrected him. Fridge played for the Bears. Dallas said Chris stick to IT. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Ravens and Niners. That is true. I remember watching that game.
Hey, let me ask you this: on what side of the ball did the fridge play?
Defense. That sounds like a defense guy.
Yeah, the fridge.
Yeah,
It sounds like a deep.
he did. But towards they're big. What year were they known? What year were they big? Yeah, you had
85?
the fridge. You had.
I have a question for you.
McMahon or McMahon? How'd you say it? McMahon? Yeah.
Is your refrigerator running? Better go catch it. All right. So what is your guess?
He did play defense, but he also ran the ball a few times. Just give a big boy a ball and say, "Go, baby, go."
Go, baby, go. Do you remember the question? Do I need to repeat the question?
The question was
Which
it's
Super Bowl
blackout.
halftime show
Rolling
preceded
Stones.
a stadium
Stones.
blackout? That's your guess.
What year was it?
2013.
No, I think they were dead. Janet Jackson.
Beyonce was the correct answer. 2013, not that long ago.
Oh, Amber got it.
Yep.
So did
Amber
Joy.
is a halftime show
Joy got
connoisseur.
it too.
All right, this is going to be our
Anybody else
last
got
one.
it? Oh, Derek got it.
Derek got it as well.
Ah, that's not a surprising.
He's a Swiftie.
Swifty.
What do they call Beyonce's people?
Beyonce, but Beyonce
No, they call them
unites.
something, don't they? Sisters?
The Beehive.
The Beehive. Bzzz, Derek. Bzzz.
Question for you.
Hey, Iris, is Derek a beehive? Which is he more, a twisty or a beehive?
Twisty.
Twisty. What do you call him?
Swifty.
A Swifty. Well, same thing. It cleans the floor.
Swiffer.
Swiffer. Yeah.
It's all over the place.
That it is. This is a loopy.
All right.
Loopy
Illuminati. All right, it's time.
I got one more question.
Oh, you got one more question.
One more question. What famous jeweler makes the Lombardi trophy?
Tiffany.
Is that your final guess?
Yes.
It is, in fact, Tiffany and Company.
Hey,
All about the jewelry.
Come on.
you get into fashion or jewelry, you're right down my.
Come on.
Yes. Who just joined F1? Any racers out there in the chat?
Trump.
They just signed a new contract with a fashion company,
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. Yep.
Come on.
They've
LV.
They just joined.
been doing all the cases,
All right.
the trophy stuff.
But they just signed, for the they took over for I think Rolex.
Oh, really?
I think so because they make watches now. Louis Vuitton does,
Oh.
and then they've got some watch brands too. LVMH, I think.
I thought you were talking about Rolex. I was like, I had heard that. They make watches.
All right.
All right. I
It's
think
time.
it's time for the one and only. Oh, I'm
Are we gonna
jacked
do
up
it?
right here.
Are we gonna do
Of
it?
course we
The
are.
thing
Is
we
this-
haven't lost to.
Is this one we made?
No.
Okay, so no cheaters.
I guess we could just start making them.
Yeah, because we're just about to wrap this thing up. You guys are going long tonight.
Yeah, it's us. It's us for
It's
sure.
this drink. It's this drink.
Yeah.
That drank.
I didn't say that. That's
I didn't say you did.
a drink.
If
That's what-
if
that's
if
what I
the
said.
people watching tip,
My dad.
we'll
one
tell them
time-
what's really in
let
that
me tell you
can.
something. Because people in the South, where I grew up, I wasn't born, but I grew up there. They have an accent, and I'll never forget. One day, my dad said, "You know how you try to help your dad." And he's fixing something. He's like, "Say, hey, can you go over there and get that wire?"
That wire.
And I go, what? He says, "Can you get that wire?" And I'm like, "What?" He says, "It's over there in that jar."
I would have thought he said wire. Brought back some wire.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was saying wire.
I thought it was like some weird way to say water.
No, he's saying that's a wire in that jar.
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 Wire.
That wire in that jar. And then got frustrated with me, walked over there and got it himself. But anyways, here we go, guys. It's time for a 5-letter word, and we need one in the chat to begin.
I do see super.
And sport.
All right, which one's first?
Super.
Carly, let's do super. Oh, hold it. Let's do, hold it.
Well,
we already
I was going to do Chris's to kind of, so he doesn't feel so bad.
Gotcha. Well, sport wouldn't have been way better.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I wonder why he chose sport of all the words. All right.
We
so,
need an E and an R, no SUP.
and the E and the R in the wrong place.
Correct.
Yeah. Suzanne, good guess, but E would be in the wrong place.
Mason, games.
Derek says
Rodeo. We do have a rodeo
GAM.
in town.
The E's in the wrong place for games, too.
Bergeron.
Bergeron Rodeo Grounds.
Rodeo?
There's a rodeo in
E's
town.
in the wrong place. Shore? That, oh, could be.
Sure, yeah.
There we go, Derek.
Where?
Sure.
There's no S.
Ah, you're right. You're right.
Sorry, Derek. There's no S. Come on.
Yeah. Pay
Choir.
attention, Derek.
CHOIR. There's no E. in
Duh, Bears.
Oh, Bears.
Bears isn't a bad one.
BEARS.
Let's give it a.
There's no S. There's no S.
Ah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Report. That is way more words
Yeah.
or letters.
Mad Ice.
Chris says he's still competitive. You know, Chris did well in our Xmas games.
Chore.
did.
Chore is not a bad one.
Chore? Like work?
Sure, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing.
That comes across like a cheater.
I don't think Abby would.
You don't think Gabby would
I
cheat?
don't think Abby would cheat. I really don't.
Wow, that's our best one ever.
That is. That is.
Two
No,
guesses?
that is unbelievable. She needs to go buy a scratch off immediately.
Wow. Derek put chore as well.
Yeah,
He did, but he probably copied her.
No, Derek
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
do
I
that.
think he did.
Derek wouldn't do that.
Oh, he would,
He's
though.
a Swiftie.
And a beehive.
And a beehive.
He's a buzzing bee.
Can't you see him with like the merch and everything just
Yeah.
at the concert?
Just wearing yellow and black.
Show that again. How's he go?
Just singing. Put a ring on it. Is that Beyonce?
It is, but I think he's saying it weird.
I did.
Put a ring on it. No, that's the way Taylor sounds.
Yeah.
If you want to put a
Yeah,
ring
there
on
you
it.
go.
Something like that.
All right.
Anyways,
Gabby says she did not cheat.
Okay,
I believe her.
we believe you.
I believe her.
All right. So we're going to end because it's time for Soul.
This guy, man.
Long hiatus.
Yeah.
We're back. We're back now.
That's one joke.
Yes, it is. I
Can't
love.
play-
No, we can't play no videos, unfortunately. I tried to make it natural, and you had to bring up the video.
Well, I was waiting for that. I like that tune.
I said earlier, unfortunately, there is no
Maui
tune
song.
at the moment. Family messed everything up. Messed everything up. My favorite thing is when producer Nick, Pastor Nick, as you're doing it, he's staring at you. Just not in.
I looked at him. Did you see me?
I
looked
did.
at him.
No,
It's
I saw it.
I had my head down.
like-
and then you looked at me.
And then I go, soul. And it's just, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody watching. We're going to get better throughout the year.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is going to become the top, what do they call it? The top trend on,
YouTube.
well, or here at Potential.
Did you want to give your apology?
What am I apologizing for? Oh, for our lack of video. You know, I spend a lot of time trying to get ready for this show because I care about you guys. Sometimes you just don't know what to do. It'll be better.
All right.
Great
apology.
Here's the way we're going to
I
end.
think you missed out on your true calling in life.
I could be an actor.
You really
Yeah,
could.
absolutely.
You really could.
Absolutely.
Let's here's what we're going to do. Just a couple of questions that we didn't get to, and for our sole session of this, since we don't have the video, it's not like I just don't feel motivated.
Like Jimmy Butler, you don't enjoy it
That's
anymore.
why I'm looking to bring the joy back. I want a max contract.
Exactly.
You hear that?
Whoever's going to give you that.
That's right. Hey, I heard Catholic Church across the road.
They're looking for a priest.
They're looking for a priest.
I
have to
that'd
get
be
rid of my
something.
family.
Divorce your wife.
Well, not divorce her.
I mean,
I just
none of them are married.
take her out to the
Oh,
for her birthday.
Oh, and Valentine's Day.
Yes, exactly. All right. Question number 1.
What leadership moment are you most proud of / least proud of?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the most proud, the two I think most proud, I'm going to talk about the ones I'm proud of. The two most proud, one is, I think when Pastor Dan left and the guys who were left here, but not left here, but that were still here on the staff, had been here for 10 years and that they were willing to go, with us. And so I'm proud of that. You know what I mean? That we went on that journey. We saw a lot of people come to Christ. The church grew. They could have they knew more people than I knew. They could have easily called issues and difficulties, and they didn't. The other is COVID, that we were able to minister to people and see people come to Christ and have camp and everybody keep their job, So those are the two. I think when you think about, what was it? How did they put it? Least proud?
Most proud of and least proud of.
Least proud. I think, least proud, I think is, I can go back to my first pastorate, and I think that was a very painful experience, but I could have done things differently. And I hate it for the pain that we felt, but I hate it worse for the pain that those in the congregation felt. We've been able to kind of move on and move forward, but some folks, when they get hurt, they they just give up on God and everything, and so it's always painful to look at that. And then I think as the culture has changed, it's been I wouldn't say I'm least proud, but I would say frustrated with trying to figure out how to reach people in today's world. Those are my answers.
Those are good answers.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, 2 more questions. If you have 2 more good questions.
I do. What is something that people who are early on in their leadership journey overlook?
I think patience. I think we all want to succeed. Like I said, the gentleman we talked about earlier, I think about, in my own life, sometimes our inability to be patient does cause pain for people.
Yeah.
Our expectations are too high. No, that's not true. Our expectations need to be high, but our willingness to allow people to grow to reach those expectations sometimes are not what they need to be. And I think when you're early in your leadership, you do one of 2 things. You don't give people time to reach your expectations, or another mistake I think early people make is they lower their expectations. They don't challenge people. They're afraid to have the difficult conversation. I think that's one of the most important aspects of leadership that get neglected is the difficult decision or the difficult conversation. Today, if you happen to catch the teaching, if you didn't, you can go to potentialchurch.com, and we talked about priorities, and we talked about how we have to trust God. And I talked about, when it comes to giving, our success and success I defined as money, power, and influence, and how God wants us to trust Him, to give generously of our time. And I think as a pastor, here's I didn't share it because people don't connect sometimes with pastors and what our job is. But to me, I thought about it. I deal with that like when it comes to teaching, like on difficult subjects. Like money is always a difficult subject because I know, people are going to tune you out. People, are going to, that's all they care about and all that kind of stuff. And yet you have to trust that God and his word are going to be faithful.
Yeah.
Even if people get mad or if people leave or if people respond wrongly.
Yeah.
So, one more.
All right, this is a bit of a fun one. If you weren't a pastor or a coach, what would you be?
A musician?
Worship guy.
Yeah.
You do play piano.
Oh.
Yes, I play.
Well, I played. I don't know if you actively still play.
Well, no, but I'm learning. Pastor Matt's teaching me.
Oh. Is that real? Like,
Well, I just figure we can save money if I can lead worship and preach.
that's the truth. That's the truth.
Better watch it, Will. I'm coming after you, bro.
And then we can find a way where you can like run all the slides from your iPad.
I can just do it all.
That you can.
I'll be back to the beginnings when it was just me.
Exactly.
What would I be? That's a good. What would you be?
I don't know.
What would you be, Will?
Probably working in psychology again.
In psychology.
Again. What'd you do
As a
before?
patient or somebody that,
I was a grief counselor for like a year and a half.
Dang.
yeah. Wow. Hey, have you taken you need to read the book. We need everybody.
He took it.
What was your number one? We're talking about Irvin McManus's book, 7 Frequencies of
Correct.
Communication. And he has 7 frequencies.
Best like personality.
It's really fun.
Best
So if
one
you
I've ever
haven't
taken.
It's a short read. He comes with a little test. And Will's number one way of frequency was?
I am a challenger.
Was healer in there at all? That's always a good frequency for a grief counselor.
It was third.
So it made it. You know whose was first as a healer? Who would you guess on staff? And I don't know everybody's. I'm the executive team. Who would you think had healer as number one?
Yourself?
Quite the opposite, actually.
Giselle had dictator. Giselle had dictator.
Dictator.
Frequency pastor.
Oh, that's not one?
But we can make it one. We can make it one.
Tyler. Pastor
do,
Tyler. Number one was healer.
8 frequencies.
Yeah.
Has he ever healed you? And we'll be right back to this episode.
So much. I appreciate him so much.
There you go. Hey, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We've had a lot of fun. I hope you have as
You
well.
never answered the question. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well,
If you weren't a pastor
Here-
or a
you-
coach,
I
what would you
would,
be?
I would love to be in like fashion.
I could see that.
As a model or like creating?
Yeah, as a model.
Both. Oh, wow. Creating fashion.
I would want to lead. So I would want to be like a creative director.
If you had to compare yourself to a fashion, like
Icon?
yeah, like who do you think your style would most be like?
Well, I think
Because I have an opinion, but
I
I'm curious
think
if it's the same as you.
fashion changes with the culture.
No, right. But if like there was someone that like, okay, that's kind of
Stylistically,
yeah,
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Interesting.
Well, yeah, what's your opinion?
I thought Virgil. Like I could see you kind of doing similar stuff.
Oh, that would be a huge compliment. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
What do you want?
A new computer. Mine's broken.
Hey, guys, we do thank you. Hey, let us know in the chat. What would you be if you weren't doing what you're doing? What would you be? What would you do? Those are good questions to ask sometimes and to think through. Don't forget the podcast. We do have it with Erwin. He talks about the book. I think that was our last week. It's actually out right now.
Yes.
So check that out, and it might motivate you to pick up the book. It's like I said, it's a quick read and can make a big difference.
Yeah.
We'll be back. What do you think we should do next week? Let us know in the chat. Since it will be Super Bowl.
That it will.
We maybe do something a little fun that we can play.
We could. Oh, we could play it, or we could. We have the Super Bowl party happening in the youth building.
Okay.
Stream live from the Super Bowl party.
We might do that. We'll let you know.
That'd be fun.
If you haven't subscribed, followed, and share. sometimes people just need to be encouraged, and that's really what this is about. The live stream is to have a little bit of insight along the way, but hopefully just to make you smile and go into the week with this positive mindset and a great spirit.
Yes.
And thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a great year.
Thank you.
To leave people with a smile. There is a lot of people in the chat who are asking for Nick to rap.
Yes.
And the reason they're asking for that is today in youth, Nick rapped.
Did he?
Perfectly.
All right.
Word for word.
Perfectly.
Bar for
Somebody's rap or his own rap?
No, the Maui, the song from Moana,
Yes.
how he raps.
Yes.
He did that perfectly, word for word.
All right.
Do it.
Oh, you want to see it?
Well, do you do it? Did you do it for your family first, or did you?
I have a 2-year-old daughter, so I have learned and heard it.
She likes rap,
The Maui song.
does she? Well, let's hear it. Come on. The
Are
people
you
in
gonna put the song
we gotta
on?
Give the,
or
people-
I
like,
can't.
could-
I don't. Where am I supposed to put it at?
we got to put it.
Do you know?
You're welcome.
We got to give the people in the chat what they want.
Do you want me to do it over the song? At least have the song low, so like it's just not my voice.
Well, you
Or I could
you
do-
want to be like all the worship leaders.
All right, I got you. I mean, I'm not a worship guy.
Can I get effects? Can I get some effects, please?
You want to have it
I've
already
only learned
recorded.
from Will. All right.
Acapella.
I think this is how it starts. Well, come to think of it, kid, honestly, I can go on and on. I can explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I killed a Neil, I buried its guts. Sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What is the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the tapestry here on my skin is a map of the victories I'd win. Look where I've been, I make everything happen. Look at that mini me Maui to tippity tap. Ha, 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 ha. Hey!
There you go.
Now,
You're welcome.
does The Rock does The Rock rap that in the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's The Rock. Wow. Maybe he'll invite you on to Maui 3.
Oh,
Ooh, Moana 3, yeah.
that'd be.
Well.
He's getting his own movie
He's
series.
getting his own version.
There we go. Like the Scorpion King.
We love you guys, and we'll see you next time right
Peace.
here on the live stream.
Adios.